well prepared.
It should not pass like a normal day.
Like the teacher, when the teacher enters the class with a preparation, I see like teacher is preparation. If a teacher did not prepare for the class will be a mess, and he will not be able to achieve class management and so on. The same thing, if you're not prepared for the day, you'll be like going in through the day awkwardly. You don't know what to do. You waste your time, and you might waste the opportunity, the blessing, this blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also, like now, if you're trying to do Umrah or trying to do Hajj, like you should study this. You should follow the steps of the Prophet in order to be well prepared for this. How could the Prophet, or how did the Prophet act at these days? How did the Sahaba act at this time? What should I do? What I mustn't do? What are the things that if I did, my Hajj won't work? Right? So I shouldn't say bad words. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this. I should study. I should be well prepared, not to go there and to take photos and so on. There's something, I don't know, really something that irritates me, guys, and allow me to say this. People at this moment, at the moment of the forgiveness, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells His angels in the sky that look at my slaves. Look at my slaves. They came from all over the world in order to ask for forgiveness. Some people are just documenting the thing in order to show on Facebook.
I think maybe this should really be mature and balanced. Like you could maybe at the very end of Hajj, you could take maybe one photo for your memory and to keep it, but it's not like to be exaggerating or maybe like being live the whole because you wouldn't really be concentrated or even spiritually engaged.
Why should I take a photo? Tell me, answer me. Why should I take a photo at this point?
If someone, I'm sure that you should be spending all the time spiritually engaged in what you're doing.
And if they are really spiritually engaged, they wouldn't do that.
Most people, I understand your point. I understand your point also is that I think, like you said, if you keep it balanced and it all depends on your intention, your niyyah.
Exactly.
Some people may do something small. You can tell the difference. Some people, they're taking selfies. This is ridiculous.
Like if you keep.
But there's some people who are doing it for to encourage others. Like there's some ulama that I see that are there. They do it to encourage others. But they don't do it excessively.
Exactly.
They use it as an encouragement for other people. As like a guidance for them to guide them that hey, you want to be. I want you to make the intention to try to come next year and do what I'm doing. They keep it brief. So they don't make it long because they're busy.
Encouraged. Yes.
So and also I see people do it as you said. Also, they may take like a memento here or there, so that when they leave.
And this should happen not within the.
No, not during the important times.
Exactly.
But they use it
not
as
today, not on the day of Hajj, not when you're performing things that you should complete. Actually, you should not have your phone and your camera with you on that day.
But some people, I see them doing that sometimes. I don't, but I see people do that sometimes. As later on in their life, when time goes on, maybe they're having a bad time. Maybe something's wrong.
So it reminds them of
and they look at this picture, and then they remember Allah. And they remember, if you use it this way, you don't use it as like, to prove and show off to the world.
I'm doing Hajj and...
I don't recommend doing it. I'm not saying to do it. That's not what I'm saying. I don't recommend doing this, okay?
I think you're
right.
But
I'm just trying to think good of the people and, give the husn of them and think that, some people...
You're trying to think like...
some people...
Think soundly about the people about this.
But I don't recommend doing it.
Definitely, as I said earlier, I said like, you need to study how the Prophet performed Hajj, how the Prophet stood on the day of Arafah. And I should follow. The Prophet has a phone, the Prophet take picture, the Prophet documented this. And you see like people on Facebook, like every moment.
But maybe someone would say at this point that back in time there was no like this technology or there was no the chance to take photos back in time.
You shouldn't do this. I mean, like here it's a time of
It's not
worship.
essential, of course.
I mean, it's time.
It doesn't take.
You can say like the umbrella wasn't there, but this is used for a good reason, like to protect them, right? It wasn't there, right? But if you're talking about this, like what did the Prophet do? Like if people are smiling and taking selfies and so on, this is not the time for this, guys. This is what I'm talking about. This is not the time for this. It's a day of Arafah, the day of forgiveness. Imagine with me the day of forgiveness, like you're standing, and especially the last 3 hours of Arafah, right before the sunset, you try to get closer and closer.
Your brain and your heart should be completely engaged with what you're doing.
The ulama, when they go there, the ulama, when they go, they keep crying, they keep repenting to Allah. Imagine with me, if you stand from the very beginning of the day to the end of the day, just repenting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, crying. Would you imagine like having a phone and taking a selfie and so on? This is not the time for this. And this, it's widespread. It's really irritating. If you go there, like if you go on Umrah or for all the people like he's doing tawaf and he's having his phone, tawaf. You're going there to perform an ibadah. And this is something really ridiculous.
It has, it needs some more
guidance and
personally, I think the average person should stay away from that. Yeah? Stay away from these things and focus on what they need. Like I see like certain sheikh doing this because they're doing it for the benefit of other people, and they're not taking selfies. They're actually talking about the benefits, showing you this is Maqam Ibrahim. They're doing things like this. But the average person, you don't really need that. I mean, most people, if it's the first time, they're too focused anyways. Most people, if you really came there for the right intentions, you're too focused.
And it's also, it makes your heart safe if you stay away from this. Like now, I did this thing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I did Hajj or Umrah. If it is sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I shouldn't keep it like away from the people in order to save my heart. I need to save my heart. Why? Because I don't want to be proud of my worship. If I feel proud of my worship, this is something that, I mean, something wrong with sincerity.
Because it shouldn't be done this way, yes.
I shouldn't keep it to Allah.
You don't even know if it's accepted.
Yeah, so I show, and people say, Hajjun Mabrur. Who knows that it was like a sound Hajj? Who knows?
And by the way, for the listeners who are listening now, is that don't feel hope. No, we're in Arafah now. This is the day that you're fasting. Okay, don't feel like, okay, I didn't prepare, it's finished. You know, it's not over. You know, the most important time of this day, the most important time of this day is right before Maghrib. So you haven't lost. If, you know, we're all talking about preparation, I don't want them to feel like, I didn't prepare.
Actually, the right
I'll try to prepare next year. No, the day is not finished. Go right now, sit down, prepare yourself for the last hour of the day.
And Allah all forgiving. Even if you wasted this day. Like we're talking to the people, you waste the day. Alright, it's not the end of the world. I'm telling you are still alive, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all forgiving. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us like chances, and every night Allah comes to the Sama'i Dunya, right? And ask people, if you repent, I will accept your repentance. If you forgive, I will forgive you. If you ask for something, I will give. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look how great is our God. He comes to us and He asks us, if you, and we're sleeping. We're away from this. Just we need to know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all forgiving, and we are weak, and we have to get back. And if I miss the chance, I shouldn't miss the other. And if I miss the other, I shouldn't miss the
you other. Haven't missed this one. It's still here.
The door is
my
always
advice
open.
right now
the door
is
is open.
It's open now. If you didn't do anything, you didn't plan, whatever, you haven't finished.
You mentioned a really important point, Idris. I think the important point, you should feel bad about yourself if you're not doing anything about it. But for example, if you show interest, if you start reading, if you want to unlearn the things that you don't know, for example, this is where you know that you're on the good track. You're on the right track.
Yes. When you care, you have
you do something
around it. Like I teach students in English, we teach younger students, like different kinds of nouns. You know, you have concrete and abstract. I tell them, can you prove love? You can't prove it, but it has symptoms, it has signs.
Yes.
So whenever you care about Allah and you love Him, there are symptoms and signs. I can tell you that I love Allah from here, like you said, we can talk all day. But when you have Allah, there's symptoms and signs. I can't say I love Allah, and then after I say it, I'm going around and I'm robbing people. Give me your money.
And this is what was mentioned. Like, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves a person, He calls Jibreel and He tells him, like, I love this person. And Jibreel calls the angels of the sky, says, I love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves this person, so love him. So they love him, and on earth, like he will be accepted by people. He will be loved by people. People will see like he's a good person. He's a good practicing person. So people will love him, And this is a sign that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the person, subhanallah. So as our brother said, there are signs for the love of Allah. Just all what you need to do is just keep working. And if you miss a chance, I repeat myself, just use the other. Keep working, never stop working, never lose hope. And now, today is not fard. Fasting, Arafah is not a fard.
It's a sunnah, yes.
So it's a sunnah, and ulama said that if it's a sunnah, and if you did not intend to fast from night, and now if someone just watching us now, and he just woke up now, and he did not eat anything since Fajr till now, and he did not drink anything, he could continue the day fasting. He continued the day fasting.
This is an amazing
It's not
thing.
over,
See,
as we said.
Yeah.
The day is it's still early.
I think there is nothing on earth compared to how Allah is merciful to us.
Yeah.
Because even look to the extent that you wake up and you realize you didn't make niyyah from yesterday, for example, you still have the chance to continue the day as if you made it.
Yeah, see now.
The
Like
door
the door is up, never close. It's never closed until the sun comes from the west.
Right.
Yeah, and this is the day is like no repentance will be accepted. And the Prophet, even look at the Prophet says like, if the day is over, the day of judgment. I mean like, it's the end of the world. إذا قامت القيامة, and you still have like a plant in your hand, and you should plant it. You should put it in earth. Like it's over, but you should put it like the Prophet wants to teach us that we keep motivating, keep working, we keep until even if it's the end of life, at the end of your life. Now you are just like your soul is getting out of your body, and you need to do something. Do it. Like keep working. It's a good lesson that we need to learn from this hadith.
As we say we learn from another hadith about the person who does good deeds his whole life. At the very end of his life, he turns and does evil deeds and does the disbeliever. And the reverse. A person does evil deeds his whole life, and at the very end he turns and does good deeds. So it's not the beginning. It's not the middle. It's how you end. And this actually, from what he said, it emphasizes it. How do you end? You don't give up. You continue, you fight until the very last moment. And this will be in your favor. For all of your mistakes and things you've done, the fact that you didn't give up and that you kept faith and you kept trying to the very last moment will be in your favor on the day, but inshallah. So today isn't over. No matter what happened, if you didn't prepare or not, you don't have to have a magical thing. It's all about seeking repentance. You know your soul and what you've done better than anyone on earth except Allah. So lay forth that what you have, ask for forgiveness, connect to Allah, and He'll forgive you.
You know what? This is an entrance for the devil, for the Satan. I mean, like, the Satan knows from where to hit you. Now he knows that you lost something, you wasted something. He comes to you, you are a loser, you are a sinner. You cannot seize this day. You cannot achieve this. So he wants to submit you to him. So the Satan wants to submit you to him, not to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Prepare yourself for him. And you know from where he gets to kill you, and you should be prepared. Look, if you know that this is your enemy, you try to know how strong is your enemy, how armed he is, and then you try to protect yourself, to prepare yourself. So you know now that Satan is your enemy. You need to strengthen yourself, protect yourself, and to know from where he gets to you. You need to know, and the best one to know about himself is yourself, is to know what are your weakness points. How could Satan makes you stop doing action? Now, I have the intention to hold the Quran and to read. And then the Satan came to me, okay, you need to make a cup of tea in order to concentrate. So you go, you leave the book, you go to make the cup of tea, someone calls on you, someone calls you, you go and you answer the phone, you get into this circle, and you never hold this day. So now, I know that this is my weakness point. When I start something, and this happens to all of us, without exception, when you start to do a good deed, the Satan comes to you and reminds you by things that, for example, you forgot your wallet, for example. and you don't know where it is.
Or for example, if you're going to go do sadaqah, for example, by an amount, he might start reminding you, you know, how many things you need to pay for.
Yeah, you didn't pay for you didn't pay for this, and he keeps like making you avoid doing this action. All what you need to do is to do what? Move on. Move on. It's not your money, man. I mean, like, the money that you're giving is not your money. This is the money of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you're giving this to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this will not decrease from your money. It will increase your money. Because ما نقص مال من صدقة. ما نقص مال. This is what the Prophet said. So the money that you give will never decrease your money or make your money lesser than it should be. It will grow. The money will grow. And when you try to do something, good, never ever think about it. It's something good. You don't need to think about it. Go and do it. You need to help a person. Help them.
Right.
Help them. Never stop. Never think. Because when you think about it, you will not do it.
Right.
Satan will try to distract you, and you.
So Idris, what do you think of the of this point? I mean, do you remember any examples of those where Satan tried to maybe distract your attention?
It's commonplace where you find yourself, and it's either from Iblis or from your nafs. Sometimes we blame Iblis for everything, but sometimes it's your nafs. It's just your nature. So it's something that happens to a lot of us, that we get distracted from doing good, and we have to. My cure, I always tell people, is a big way out of this is to remember your intentions. Renew your intentions. Have the intention why you're doing this. If you remember why you're doing it, the action itself becomes less important. The why becomes greater than what you're doing. Right. Sometimes you see a person who's poor and you think, oh, I'll give them money. And then the shaitan or your nafs tells you, that person may take it and they may go buy alcohol with it, or they don't look like they're going to do good with this money. So you know what, I'm not going to give. If you remember, I'm giving this for Allah. This is what I'm doing.
You're performing
what this person does has nothing to do with me, unless it's clear. If they're standing in front of
you have an evidence,
an alcohol store, and they're standing in front of it.
You sometimes may say, am I not poor? I'm poor as well. I mean, I might need money from people. I don't want to give money, for example. You might keep saying that, oh, I need the money. I can't really give it out. I cannot. Even sometimes people mistaken the idea that poor people are not meant to give sadaqah. No, they can, but it's still
it's greater, actually.
Exactly. I mean,
the sadaqah of a person. Let's say, for instance, if I have $10 million, okay, and I give $100,000 to a charity.
So it's not.
And you have $10,000 to your name, and you give half to charity. It's 5,000. You only gave 5,000. I gave 100,000. Who's greater? It's greater for you because you have less. So the sadaqah of the person who has less is greater than the one who has money, because they don't feel it.
Right.
If I have $1 million and I give you $100, I don't feel it. It doesn't hurt me one way or the other. When you feel it and you give it, it's greater. And Allah will make sure that you're okay. As long as you're sincere, you're doing it for the right reason. Your niyyah makes a big difference.
Right.
You have to be grateful, and your intentions for what you do is what makes deeds great. Not the deed itself. It's what you're doing.
Another thing I want to add here, like we're talking about the Satan, and the Satan tries to distract you. The Satan might distract you by making you do something good in order to prevent you from something better. Now, if you're going to the prayer and something happened, like he tries to delay you for the prayer. He tells you, like, you need to help this person, you need to do this, he tries to find something that
reasonable for you
reasonable for you to prevent, and when you go, you found the prayers over. You lost the jama'ah, you lost the congregation. And this is how the Satan does not enter from like something, it doesn't tell you do something bad. He tries to beautify the thing for you, and he might make you like do something good in order to make you something worse. I mean, like
just to jump in on this point you're saying.
Yeah.
Before I forget, I want to mention this is very key. What he's saying. This is very important. People don't understand the importance of what he's saying right now. But I want to clarify it in a way that maybe they can understand it.
Please.
You know, for instance, like he's mentioned earlier, fasting today is what? Sunnah.
Sunnah, yes.
It's not fard. You don't have to, right? Some people will fast today as if it's fard. When Ramadan comes, they don't fast.
yeah,
They have reversed the importance of things. You know, some people they'll pray and tarawih, but they will miss the 5 salawat. They have reversed the importance. And I'm not belittling this day and its importance, but we have to keep everything in perspective. As you just said, you know, you have to keep it in perspective and keep your niyyah, your intention, and continue to do what you need to do. Follow with your qawa'id, your base, your foundation. Don't build your penthouse and you haven't built your first floor, because it will be worthless.
Right.
It will fall and it will be nothing.
yeah.
So the point he's making is very, very, very important for people to understand what he's saying.
Like
Exactly.
also this happens, some people stay up the night of Eid, right? They don't pray Fajr and they go to pray Salat al-Eid. Salat al-Eid is Sunnah, but Fajr
I
is
see.
Fard.
I
So
see.
you need to place ibadat in its places.
And use
in their
these
places.
days, use these sunnahs and things to jumpstart your fara'id, you know, the things that
Yes.
you're mandatory. Don't use them as one of. Then they don't benefit you. Use these things to jumpstart what you should be doing. Don't use it as a one to win all. Okay, Arafah, I'm going to fast. I'm going to pray my 5 prayers a day. And after that, I'm not doing anything. Don't use it that way.
And this is one of the entrance of the Satan. Like he comes to you and he makes you like busy by something that the Sunnah, for example, in order to prevent you from doing fard. You didn't do something wrong. We didn't say that this is wrong what you did, but you need to monitor Satan. You need to get to be alert to him and try to. He's your enemy. He's trying to. If he couldn't make you do a sin, he will try to prevent you from doing something good. Yani preventing you from doing ibadah, it's an achievement for the Satan. Really, it's an achievement.
It's his
So
target.
Yeah, because if you didn't do ibadah, your iman will not grow, will not increase. And this is what we need to do every day. Why the prayers?
Right.
Like you pray Fajr, and there is between Fajr and Dhuhr, there's a long time. In order to boost your iman, you pray Dhuhr. You get fresh again. Your iman you get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You want to do something good. After the prayer, when you're done with the prayer, you feel like, oh, I need to do more. I need to pray more. I need to help the poor. I need to do lots of things. And then this iman goes down again. Then you pray less. That's why people who don't pray, it's equal to them. The days, nothing is different that they're doing. And you feel, if you miss a prayer, you feel that there's something wrong. If you are practicing Muslim, you're praying on time, and for a reason you missed the prayer, right? You feel that there's something wrong going with you.
Something's off.
Yeah, there's something wrong. Things are not going as they should. They should go. Why? Because the timing of the prayer. The Prophet asked us to pray on time. As-salatu ala waqti. So pray on time. Why? For the reason that you're obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're doing the prayer as they should be done, and also for a reason for yourself. Like this time is the time for the increase of iman. Like if you have a car and they told you like after some miles you should refuel your car, you didn't. The car will not walk normally as it was walking. All right, so you try to refuel it early, but if you refuel it at the time that they assign for you, you walk faster, you reach your goals faster. But if you didn't, see now, if we think about it this way, we feel like how important is the prayer to us, important to ourselves, to the peace of mind that we're looking for. We don't need to take courses for peace of mind and these things that they do. Our religion is enough. Like when you pray, you feel the difference. مَنْ لَمْ تَنْهَاهُ صَلَاتُهُ فَلَا صَلَاةَ. So the Prophet said that. Like the prayer should prevent you from the bad.
Right.
And also the prayer should make it like, the prayer is something that makes you feel better. Not the courses, not the massage, not yoga, not all of these things. But the prayer. أرحنا بها يا بلاد. So the Prophet ﷺ, if something goes wrong with him, if something that like annoys the Prophet ﷺ, so he prays. He prays. Just Allahu Akbar, and he prays. And this is what we should do. Really. And also this is one thing I reiterate and say again that we don't do. Like at the time of the problem, we search for a person to help us. Whoever thought, like, you have a problem now, something happened to you, a big problem, a big catastrophe, what you should do? Should we do this? Like, I make wudu, then I start to pray, and I ask Allah for help, and then I start to search for the people who help me. But first, I should turn to Allah, because He's the one who will help me. The one who will help me. Look, if I tell you that you have a problem and you came to me, you tell me, I don't know how to do it, or I don't know how to get out of this situation. I tell you, I know a person who will help you. Trust me. If you come with me, but we need to stay up the whole night asking him for this. Would you stay? You stay. Like if you're looking for a job and this job is very important to you, and you stay up the night, we need to stay up the night waiting for the person. You will stay up the night. Really? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as I said, like every night, like whatever you need, a job, a wife, a house, like whatever you need, just ask for it and I'll give it to you. Allah, the Almighty, comes to us and asks us. These things, we heard them a lot, but we need to stop and think about them, ponder about these things, ponder about this hadith and these blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we give it some time, wallahi, our life will change and we'll live in peace, and we'll have this peaceful of mind that we're looking for in courses and so on. We don't need courses. We need just to follow that our religion, and our religion has a lot of things. And the other thing that we need to focus on, Quran. How valuable is the Quran in our life? How important. Quran should be our priority. Look, what we do, Quran, when I'm free, I read Quran. No, the first thing to start with is Quran. Everything you're looking for, any problem, you need to solve this problem, you find the solution in the Quran.
Right.
Every solution you find in the Quran. Solutions for the problems of the heart. If you feel like now you are curious about dunya, and if you feel like you are keen on dunya, the solution for, and this is a big problem by the way, if you're keen on dunya, so the akhirah will be away, will be far from you. Just to keen on dunya, you need to build the house, you need to, and this is all your life. So we need to get back to Quran, read the Quran. So this day could be a good start for us.
Yeah, I think some people can use exactly what you mentioned about, especially for this day in Arafah, is that you try to pace yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have to do one thing the entire day.
Yeah.
Read a little bit of Quran, pace yourself and develop it and do different things so that you don't feel like some people who are not used to doing certain things, they can't sit and make dua all day. They will feel like they become disconnected after a while. So my advice would be to pace yourself, to vary what you're doing.
Right.
And make sure that whatever you do in this pace, that you plan for the last hour to be the most special.
Yeah.
So the day isn't over in other parts of the world that it hasn't even become yet. So depending on where you are, you have time, and inshallah, hopefully the day isn't over wherever you are.
Right.
And try to practice all the deeds that you need to practice after Arafah. Now, this is the chance. You have the spirit to work, the energy to work. Just, you need to get back to Quran, so you need to read the Quran. You need to do sadaqah. In order to keep it after Arafah, you do this.
These are actually the lessons learned. That was going to be my question now. Like, there are some lessons that are learned from having people standing all together at the same time and moving from Arafah the same time. But what can we learn from this phenomena? Like,
the first thing that we learned, that our God is one, our deen is one.
United, yeah.
Yeah. So, and also it showed us the meaning of unity, that we all together. And this happens in most of our actions.